Fiordland is home to many kelp beds. Kelp has an important role at the base of marine food webs. Productive kelp forests lead to large fish stocks and rich biodiversity. It's as important to fishing as grasses to cattle farming. Well, that's how Steve Wing described it anyway.
In 2007, Steve Wing and others studied Ecklonia radiata, otherwise known as common kelp, in Fiordland, New Zealand. Their study sites range from coastal Fiordland, which is characterized by lots of light and big waves, to inner Fiordland, where high mountains cause shaded and sheltered waters. But how do these habitats differ beneath the surface of the water?
Common kelp in coastal Fiordland have narrow and thick blades, whereas in inner Fiordland, common kelp have broad and thin blades. Are they so different because of their different environments, or are they different species? This is what Wing and others wanted to find out. As we just saw, outer and inner Fiordland differ in wave intensity and light availability, but also in the biology of the common kelp found in each of these habitats. In outer Fiordland, common kelp have a solid structure to resist big waves. As there is a lot of light in these areas, they can do photosynthesis well, even with a small blade area exposed to the sun.
In inner Fiordland, common kelp do not need a solid structure, because the water is a lot calmer. Instead, they have broad blades, so they can use as much of the limited sunlight as possible for photosynthesis. These two types of common kelp also differ in the concentrations of pigments they have in their blades. To do photosynthesis, kelp absorb light energy from the sun using pigments. Pigments are also what give them their colors. In common kelp, two pigments are really important, chlorophyll A and fucoxanthin. When kelp have more of these pigments, they can absorb more light energy and do photosynthesis more efficiently. In other words, they have a higher photosynthetic rate for the same light intensity. Common kelp in the outer fjord are most efficient at high light intensity. This is because they contain low concentration of these pigments. Common kelp in the inner fjord are most efficient at low light intensity because they contain high concentrations of these pigments.
So kelp in these two areas differ in their photosynthetic rate, their structure, and pigment concentration. To find out whether these populations of common kelp really are separate species, Wing and others compared their DNA. They found that they are in fact one species. They are just very good at being able to adapt to their environmental conditions.
By understanding how kelp adapt to changing environments, we can learn how to better protect them in New Zealand, but also in other fjords around the world.